Hello, I am Mauro Canciani, and we're here today with Federico Salamon to tell you a bit about the new stuff of total experience modeling with GeneXus 18. But before that, what is total experience? Companies don't need to have a cool app or a cool website. Companies need to have an exceptional experience for everyone. So, total experience combines the discipline of customer experience, user experience, and employee experience to generate a new total experience. The main goal of total experience is to promote loyalty, reliability, and higher client and user and employee retention. Even though we do have a lot to tell you about this new features in GeneXus 18, we have the resources and the tools of GeneXus to carry out this total experience with GeneXus. So we would like to tell you a bit about what we've been working on, which we call the visual design ecosystem of GeneXus. This is a tool to model design in GeneXus. At the center, you have panels which allow interactions and data input from users. There you model all the visual component of applications. In the next level, you have objects and controls, which allows you to create layouts and controls and all interaction elements in those panels. In the third level, you have tools, which allow you to generate those panels. And in the fourth level, you have what GeneXus automatically generates. So it's automatically generated code. At the center, you have two different kinds of panels, panels and web panels. Web panels allow you to generate web applications, and at the moment we have the .NET and the Java generators. And web panels are our GeneXus modeling vision. They allow you to generate multi-experience design, that is native mobile, Apple and Android and Angular applications. In the next level of this ecosystem, you will find objects and controls. And we decided to put them together because even though they are different things, they are somewhat related to each other. Because you have some objects that allow you to extend the standard control palette in GeneXus, such as user control. What you see here are standard controls, such as buttons, attributes and variables, images or text blocks. And then you have container type controls, such as tables, responsive tables, grids, freestyle grids, flex, smart tables, etc. Navigation controls, such as menus, tabs and action groups. Animation controls such as animation view, and these objects that we mentioned before, such as user control and stencil, which are the ones that will allow you to extend that control palette. So if you need from a certain UI or a certain interaction and you don't have the by default control in GeneXus, through this user control object, you can bring that external knowledge to include it in the GeneXus KB through this. Above all controls, you have the design system object, because this is what's going to define styles that all controls that we mentioned will have. In the third level, we have tools that allow us to do that modeling. We have tools in the IDE, for example, the layout editor or the document outliner, or tools that will accelerate things such as import from design or other tools to do debugging of that design. Then you have automatic generation, which is generated by GeneXus. In this, you will find, for instance, interface generation and interaction generations, for example, with a pattern that is called work with, or with a chatbot. So if you want to know more about this ecosystem, or you want to download it with all the associated documentation, you can go to genexus.com/design ecosystem. Luckily, because this is a tools ecosystem, we have three tools to design total experience models. First, you can do it by hand. And for that strategy, we're going to see a couple of new things in GeneXus 18. And as part of that same strategy, you can accelerate design system implementations by import design tools, and we will see what's new about that too. And the second strategy is to use tools given by your partners. So you can take a look at Sofia and Joaquin's talk that tell you a bit about Work with Plus, or Federico's talk that tells you a bit about K2B tools. The third strategy is using a design system that is incorporated in GeneXus, such as Unanimo. Unanimo is a design system that we are releasing with GeneXus 18 that we are proud to present in this release. Even though you have three strategies to apply design to your applications, GeneXus has also improved in terms of its base that allows these new features to be implemented. We want to mention a few that we consider most relevant to model visual design. As you know, in GeneXus 18, upgrade 6, we released the design system object, which was a radical change when it comes to modeling design in GeneXus. This was the successor of the theme object. This design system object was released a couple of months ago and it had a very good adoption in our community, so we are very happy with the results. This design system object keeps growing both in terms of how robust it is and in terms of power. And we've made some improvements, such as, for example, inheritance calculations and import from different classes between different design system objects. We also improved CSS management layers. We have this new CSS layers in the web generator, which gives us a better control of the CSS files that are updated in our application and the way that they are loaded. We also improved the stencil object by adding the possibility to introduce dynamic content through the use of slots. This generates much more power for reuse in this object. We also improved the way that we manage image resources and SVG format for all platforms, new UI controls that will be distributed by default with GeneXus. In the implementation of user control objects, we also improved modules to allow, for example, the import of files and images per module, and we also decoupled the Bootstrap library to allow all the different styles of our controls to be governed by the design system objects and not by an external library. Bootstrap is going to be used exclusively for calculation responsive sizes and for the action group control. On top of modeling design manually, you can do that using import design tools. We always want to simplify software development, automating as much as we can, and this import from external design tool does precisely that. It simplifies and automates how we incorporate design in GeneXus. This year we've worked to make this tool more robust and to have those designs implemented more accurate. We have rewritten how you model the implementation of files, and we're working to support auto layout amongst other features. But what's new about this year is that we are supporting Figma. Unlike Sketch, Figma is multi-platform, which releases that restriction that to model for GeneXus you needed to use a Mac. So now this design import tool is more robust than ever before. To know more about how to model UI and design systems, you can take a look at Diego and Martin's talk, and to know how to integrate a design team with GeneXus, you can take a look at the talk that I gave with Cecilia. The third strategy to incorporate GeneXus design is to use a design system given by GeneXus. This year, we're proud to introduce you to Unanimo, the new design system that is the by default system in GeneXus. This was created and maintained with GeneXus, and it was created to be at the heart of mission-critical systems. We have implemented all the advancements that we created before to design tool. It was created from scratch, considering these 6 pillars. It is distributed in GeneXus out of the box. This means that the new KBs that are open and generated with GeneXus 18 will have Unanimo as a look and feel by default. Of course, it's multi-experience. At the very heart of Unanimo, we have multi-experience. It was created for web, native, mobile, and conversational. It's flexible and consistent because you can apply your own look and feel of your company. It's consistent, so it's based on token, and it's agnostic to the end solution. It's extensible. It gives you new components that can be reused as part of the design system, and it's incremental. You can incorporate Unanimo little by little in your KB. So as a strategy to develop Unanimo, we also implemented Unanimo in our products. We have some screenshots of GeneXus Access Manager with Unanimo, GX Flow with Unanimo, and it's worth mentioning that Unanimo has 2 versions, light and dark mode. And we went one step further and we extended it to Unanimo GeneXus to create internal applications and applications that will be coming up soon. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what is the structure of Unanimo. So first, Unanimo is distributed as a module, and it gives all the advantages such as portability, how easy it is to do the maintaining installation, and it's independent from the GeneXus version. This means that if Unanimo keeps on improving, you will get those improvements by updating the module through Module Manager without having to update GeneXus's IDE. It has 4 key parts. The first one is, and the one that we consider to be at the basis, is design system objects. It has a collection of design systems that will allow you to specify all the different tokens and styles that you want your controls and interfaces to have. It has a main design system object that it's the one that will keep all the definition of tokens and global styles, and specifications for types of platforms such as Unanimo Web, Unanimo Mobile for native mobile, and Unanimo Angular. And these last ones is where you will have the styles and tokens which are specific for each platform. Secondly, you have images and other resources which are a part of the module. This has as an advantage that you can use these resources that are part of the GeneXus KB without having to find that in different sources, which will end up in inconsistencies, visual inconsistencies when you're using that. This is an icon set that is distributed by default that was created specifically for Unanimo by the design team, and we think it's the best alternative when it comes to using this kind of resource. We also have the stylization of user controls. This styling, well, Unanimo has the specification of the styles of these user controls so that you can all have the same look and feel proposed by Unanimo, and also stencils, which are those reusable objects that allow us to reuse the UI, and the use of slots, which is a new feature, which makes them much more powerful. To start using Unanimo, the first step in the adoption is, well, it's considering two main scenarios. The first one is for those that will be creating a new KB in GeneXus 18, where Unanimo is the default style, and everything that is created in that KB will have the Unanimo look and feel without having to do anything on top of that. But secondly, you have those that have already created a GeneXus KB and that want to migrate to Unanimo. The advantage of this is that, as Mauro told you, it's incremental, so it means that you can do it step by step without suffering from a significant impact in all of the KB when you apply Unanimo. Thanks to the experience obtained in the development of internal applications, as Mauro was telling you, we have created guidelines for migration for those of you that want to migrate your KBs to Unanimo. If you want to know more about this and the capabilities of Unanimo, take a look at Fabian and Eugenio's talk, that they'll be telling you more about this. And to know more about Unanimo, you can visit genexus.com/Unanimo. Whether you're modeling design by hand or using an accelerator such as an import tool or a partner solution, whether you're implementing or extending Unanimo, we've never had so much power to model exceptional experiences for everyone. Welcome to GeneXus 18, the best version to model total experience.